This is going to be a quick video on how to change the oil on a Nissan Kicks. I've had a couple requests for this video, so I figured I'd make it real easy to do. Even if you do it at your house where everything's situated, it's a piece of cake just to do it in your driveway. Alright, so when we go under, you have your oil filter, which is located here. Then this is the oil pan drain plug, a 14mm. Righty tighty, lefty loosey. Just take that out, let it drain into whatever you got that'll catch the oil. And naturally this will take a little bit, so I'll speed this part up. And these things only hold about 4 quarts anyhow, so you won't need that big of catch pan. There's one other thing I'll show you too. There's a little copper O-ring here you want to change. If you get an aftermarket one, they might look like fiberglass or a different type, but a lot of times they leak. So I'll show you the correct one to put on. The oil filter, I just loosen up and let it drain like that. They tend to hold quite a bit, so if you just take it right off, it'll be a mess. Okay, so for the drain plug, that's the new copper O-ring. It's a crush washer we want to put on. I just use a little razor blade to pry it up. Just get it under one part and kind of peel it up on each side. Can also use a pair of wire clippers, but if you do use a razor blade, you just want to be careful. Don't slip and cut your finger. And you just take that off. And the new crush washer, when you tighten it, it'll actually crush down naturally and seal. Like I said, it just seals a lot better than the ones you get at O'Reilly's or whatnot. So if you pick it up at Nissan, you could get a whole bag of them for like $2. They're not expensive. And after you get it on, that's how it should look. Then we go back over. After the oil filter's finished draining, just take it off completely, and you'll still have some come out. And then with the new filter, a good thing to do is just take a little bit of oil and put it on the O-ring on the outside there. That'll help it seal better, and it won't bind up if you're putting it on a dry surface. Same thing, righty tighty, lefty loosey. And then after it's on all the way, just wipe it down with a rag, and later I'll spray it off with brake clean. But like I said, on the Kicks here, it's in a real good location. It really doesn't make a mess. And then just put the drain plug in by hand as far as you can go. And then take a 14mm wrench and just tighten it up the rest until it's snug, until that crush washer crushes down all the way. And then that thing won't leak. And each time I do oil change, I always replace that. If you use it more than one time in a row, generally they crack and it can leak. So then take some brake clean, just spray it down, get all the residual oil off there. Give it another quick wipe down. And on this car, there's no engine shield you have to take off or anything like that. So that's the factory specs there. It might be hard to see, but generally it's 4.2 quarts. Sometimes those caps there can be hard to get off. You might need to use a pair of pliers. And also Nissan vehicles, when you look under, especially if you're buying a used car, that's a real good spot to see if the engine's sludged. You can tell if it's had its oil changes. If you look down in that hole or in the cap and you see a lot of sludge and just gunk, you know that the vehicle hasn't had its oil changed as frequently as it should, and it might be a problem engine. So it's just one thing to look out when you're buying a new car. I always like to take the oil cap off and look under there. And then fill it up with about 4.20 quarts of oil. Put the cap back on. And then the correct way to check the oil, after you fill it up, you want to start the car, let it cycle through the engine, through the new oil filter, Then turn the car off. When you check oil, you want to make sure the engine is off. Then pull the dipstick out, wipe it clean. Then put it back in there, pull it out and see where the level's at. And right there you can see it's pretty much perfecto. And there it is. That's how to change oil in the Nissan Kicks. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, peace.